maybe this will just keep all of the Texas boys coming. Get those linemen from West Texas, the linebackers from the Permian Basin, and I just think the future is looking real bright in Stillwater. Welcome to another episode of Bedlam Buds, and I love episodes like this as I'm joined by my cowboy buddy Jeremy, because if you have been listening and watching Bedlam Buds over the past few weeks, and specifically if you watched the previous episode, you will know that Jeremy, transfer expert, you're not going to be able to see that on the video on YouTube, but here in the room, it says Jeremy, transfer expert. He predicted, he soothed the future and determined that all three North Texas, the key players, the triplets, your quarterback, your running back, your wide receiver, would all be in Stillwater committing to the Oklahoma State Cowboys, and he said it would happen on Saturday. Now, the main one, the top prize, Drew Mestemaker, he committed on Saturday. But now that all of this has come true, I mean, how excited is the athletic department at OSU right now, Jeremy?
The way I will say it is, I've not had as many conversations about the transfer portal and transfers as I have this year. There has been a significant, and that's not just athletic department, that's the whole town, that's the whole Cowboy football community. Going to go on and do a few radio shows, talk about it, one in the morning and then Thursday. And it's a really exciting time because it's a fresh start. And that's the thing with the transfer portal, is that you can get a fresh start. Basically start from scratch. At one point, Iowa State had the most amount of transfers in the portal, and Oklahoma State had the second most. And I was okay with that because we won one football game last year. And the way you don't do that again is to get better, and the transfer portal is hopefully helping us get better. And you're right, those triplets, the three North Texas kids that are coming in, that are, well, one of them, the Hawkins is from Shawnee, for goodness sake, so he's just down the road. Huge gets because now my concern initially was, how good would have North Texas done in the Big 12? Because we're going to have probably, I'm going to predict about 15 players from North Texas transfer up. And so, how well would they have done? But if you look at it, they probably would have won 5 or 6 ball games. Mm-hmm. I mean, because again, we've done the math. Oklahoma State, if Haas Haney stays healthy, might have won 5 or 6 ball games as status quo. So you add in one of the top quarterbacks, one of the top receivers, one of the top running backs in the transfer portal, and not just coming to Oklahoma, not just as a part of the Big 12 package, not just part of this region, the entire country. These guys were listed as like one of the top 1 or 2 or 3 guys in that position in the nation. You have to improve. You have to get better. And some other North Texas guys are coming up. The other receiver that had like 1,200 yards as well, I believe it was, is coming up. We got another running back commitment from James Madison is coming up. And so, I mean, just the receiver, the running back, the quarterback from North Texas is a huge get. Then my next concern was not only about the North Texas players, is, how well would have North Texas has done, because we're going to have quite a few of them, is to look at Cignetti, what he did when he left James Madison. Is he went to Indiana and he took probably 12, 15, 16, 17 of those players, and they were immediately better. They knew his schemes, they knew his patterns, they knew his verbiage, which is the language that coaches use is very specific to them and their coaching style. And all of these guys will already know all that. They will be ahead day one. Walking in next week when classes start, they will be ahead of the game because they will already know all of that. The playbook, again, the verbiage, the calls, the patterns, how all of it works, how they run their practices. And so that just those steps. Plus, those guys can step into leadership roles. because they've been through it. They can lead the other guys who haven't been through it. They can look to Drew. They can look to Hawkins. They can look to those kids and say, well, you've been through this. What do we do now? How do we get through this? So you have some built-in leaders. You have some built-in knowledge, plus their athletic ability right off the bat. And so you have to be excited if you're a Cowboy fan.
I'm excited for you, and I'm a Sooner fan. I'm telling you, man, it says so much that all of these guys would come to Stillwater with their coach. It says so much about the coach. And you know, it's just like with professional basketball players. You get them in different scenarios, playing with different people, maybe different line, different. They'll all feed off of each other. It's just a great environment. It says a lot about Coach Morris.
That's a great, great point, and I need to remember to bring that up on the radio, is that these guys would not have followed him if he was not a quality individual, if he was not somebody they think is going to make them better. And look what he did with Mestemaker. He's a walk-on to now, again, a $1 million man. And so that says a lot about not just him and his coaching staff and their style, that they get those guys better, but also that he's a leader of young men and they want to follow him. They wanted to come up here and continue to play with him. Because don't kid yourself, Mestemaker was taking phone calls. Hawkins was taking phone calls. Wyatt was taking phone calls from a lot of schools, from a lot of people going, we can give you X amount. You can come be in the SEC, be in the ACC, whatever it was. And they're like, no, we're going to Stillwater. We're going to be a Cowboy with Coach Morris. We're going to play in the Big 12. And my goodness, that is a very, very big endorsement.
I know that Signetti got the quarterback from TCU, Hoover, but I have to think that he had his eye, whether he would admit it or not, on Drew Mestemaker. And by the way, you said $1 million man. I've heard upwards of $7 million, man. That's
Yeah.
You know, in Stillwater, that makes you king. Holy moly.
I mean, you could live like a god here for if he does get, it's like $3.5 million for a 2-year deal, 3.5 each year. Yeah, he'll probably be driving a nicer car than I do.
I would imagine just a little bit. So let's just talk about what we're like. I'm a Cowboy. What OSU is getting here. So in Drew Mestemaker, he threw for 4,379 yards this past season. He played a little bit the year before, but not enough to keep him from being a freshman in 25. He was second in the country. By the way, he was number 1 for yards, 4,379. Number 2 for TDs with 34. He only threw 9 interceptions over the course of the year. When you throw that much, you know what? You break enough eggs, you do enough omelets, you're going to break some eggs.
That's right. That's right.
His QB rating wasn't that great. It was 74, but man, when it counted in the bowl game, it was 114. If he slings that ball like he did at North Texas, we're going to be talking about the return of the Gundy and Hartley Dykes era. That's what we're talking about here. And let's talk about the Hartley Dykes in this. Wyatt Young. So Drew is from Austin. Wyatt is from, oh my gosh, where is he from? Katy, Texas. He's from the Houston area.
Oh, Katy, Texas. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So he 70 catches on the year. He's a sophomore. He's the oldest of the bunch. Well, in terms of classification, 1,264 yards, 10 TDs, 18.1 yards a catch. The Sooners could use 18.1 yards a catch. They could use a quarterback who could get anybody the ball at 18.1 yards a catch. And then the homegrown guy, Caleb Hawkins, Shawnee, Oklahoma. Now, he didn't play for the Wolves. He played for North Rock Creek. I always have to remember there's another high school down there now.
Yeah, I know.
He led the country with 25 TDs. I know that there aren't a lot of fantasy college football players, but holy moly, talking about somebody, your Jahmyr Gibbs type, always getting in the end zone. And he gets 6.2 yards per carry. This is a ready-made trio.
Well, and again, they know the verbiage, they know the play calls, they know the patterns, they know all of that. And here's the thing, and what for the naysayers, because I know that there's some naysayers out there going, yeah, but it was at North Texas, and who were they playing? I don't care. You score 25 touchdowns against air. you're doing something, right? I mean, you play what, 12, 13 games a year? That's more than 2 touchdowns a game. I don't care who you're playing, that's impressive. That is some numbers. Throwing for 4,000 yards, only what'd you say, 9 interceptions, I believe it was. It was definitely single digits. I don't care who you are playing; those are impressive numbers. You're right. Not just OU. There's a lot of schools that would take that 100%. You don't think Iowa State right now would take a whole bunch of that? I mean, Kansas State. There's a lot of schools. Auburn. I mean, how many schools are looking for quarterbacks right now?
And one of them is going to sign Jackson Arnold. So not all of them, are brainiacs. So with that said, all the excitement, but I haven't really read any specs about any of the other North Texas guys. Have you heard anything about any of the other Mean Green?
Oh yeah. We got a couple of their offensive linemen. A couple of pretty big boys that are coming in. Uh, let's see here. Oh gosh. Let me find a 6'4", 320 offensive tackle out of Kilgore, Texas, Braden Nelson. That's big. You can't coach speed and you can't coach size. And so when a dude is 6'4", 320, that's a masher. That's a big time masher that's coming from North Texas to Oklahoma State. And bring it on. Absolutely bring it on. Again, Hawkins, the running back, is 6'2", 200. That's a good size running back. Are you kidding me? Let's see here. I'm trying to find the other. Oh, here's an interior. Oh, no. Dadgummit. I'm trying to figure out where there's another offensive lineman, and I'm sorry I don't have it pulled up. Got the offensive tackle. We got another offensive lineman in there somewhere. I'm trying to find interior offensive lineman. Here it is. Sorry. 6'3", 280. From North Texas. Desmond Mangaya is from McKinney, Texas, 6'4", 270. These are some big fellas that opened up a lot of holes. And again, you can't coach speed, you can't coach size. And when you're coaching dudes that are 6'4", 6'5", they're right at 3 bills, one of them being 320. Dude, those are some mashers. Those are going to open up some holes. Those are going to give you some throwing lanes for Mestemaker to throw through. And again, these guys know each other. They've played together. And so that is an added benefit to all of this. Again, size, speed, strength. I'm very excited for what Oklahoma State is doing in the portal right now.
Yeah, I think that when I've got my alerts set. There's a guy named Max Olson who is he's a transfer portal beat reporter for ESPN, and I have my alerts set for all of them. Nobody has worked the portal nearly as well as Oklahoma State has. Now, mind you, they had to. You bring in a new guy and you expect that, but it's going to make an instant splash. And if I'm early prognostication into next year, if you're looking for one school to make that Indiana-like turnaround, not saying it's going to happen, but I'm like, I'd put $5 on Oklahoma State.
Well, and it's to do what? Is it to make a bowl game? Is it to win 8? That's exactly it. If the prognosticators come out at the beginning of the year and say Oklahoma State's going to win 4 ball games, I'm taking over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking over, right? So we'll have to see how that shakes out. But you're right, because it is Oklahoma State, because they are coming from North Texas, it's liable to get overlooked. But again, as we've mentioned, Cignetti, what he did at Indiana, he brought his JMU players with him and had immediate success. Now, this is his 3rd year, I think, at Indiana.
It's second.
His 2nd year. Okay, so a lot of those JMU players are still there, and they're still winning. And they are the number 1 team in the nation right now, and decidedly so. When you look at the other 2 teams, when you look at Ohio State got beat, Georgia got beat. So right now, you got to have Indiana as the clear favorite of the 4 that are let. So that's a lightning in a bottle type of situation. I don't know if anybody will able to replicate that in such a short amount of time. But again, in today's portal world, why not? You never know. You sneak through and you slide in there, and all it takes is an opportunity. And like we were talking earlier when we were talking about the playoffs, Just get in, and then you can become dangerous. Just get in.
Hey, double checked. Signetti came there 24. So he may have been hired in 23, but he's only coached 2 seasons, which he did this immediately. I get so tired of people who say it takes 3, 4 years. It does not. I don't want to get off on a tangent on the NFL, but Kevin Stefanski got fired, and finally so. It doesn't take 6 years to figure out that you suck. It just doesn't. And now I'm hearing the Giants and Falcons and other teams are interviewing him. And I'm like, why? You seen what he can do or what he can't do.
That could be an entirely different pod where we could talk about NFL coaches and coaching, because there's a lot that I don't understand with some of their logic or lack thereof. Absolutely.
Right. So last question on this. So these guys are going from one very bright color to another very bright color. I mean, there are going to be a lot of Goodwills in Stillwater that are filled with like green clothing, don't you think?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about heading down to Denton myself and doing a little thrift shopping and maybe pick up a little mean green gear just to make them feel comfortable and make them feel at home.
I should note, I love Denton. I used to go to Fry Street Fair down there. It's a wild college town. It's fantastic. And I love the Mean Green. By the way, best jazz school in the South, best music school, period, in the South. Well, UCO is also very good. But both of them very good. And so I'm a big fan of, and I love the pipeline. Maybe this will just keep all of the Texas boys coming. Get those linemen from West Texas, the linebackers from the Permian Basin. And I just think the future is looking real bright in Stillwater.
No, absolutely, 100% agree. We are definitely trending the right direction, heading the right direction, and all signs are indicating a very positive outcome from all of this, and you have to be excited about that. Absolutely.
Well, that's all for this episode of Bedlam Buds. We will be back at some point very soon to talk what's happening in the Oklahoma world. Gotta gather some notes and numbers, and I saw that they had recruited a couple of guys from places I had never heard of today, and I thought, oh, what are we doing here? But in the meantime, for Jeremy, it's Ryan, Bedlam Buds. We will talk to you later.